Video games are pretty cool. Personally, I enjoy Nintendo games. They have a certain polish to them that makes them so much fun to play. My introduction to the world of video games was Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube. Compared to other game systems at the time, the GameCube was kind of an oddity. A purple box with a handle, I can totally see how someone would assume this was a kid's toy. But man, once you booted up Smash and that intro plays, it's just you and the boys duking it out. Look, I enjoyed Endgame, but this is the most ambitious crossover. You think Hawkeye doesn't make any sense? We got a 13-year-old with a baseball bat beating up a wad of bubblegum. For those uninitiated, Smash Bros. Is a fighting game where you try to knock the other players off the stage. You don't have health, but instead a percentage that raises when you get hit, meaning you'll fly farther the more you take damage. This, combined with easy to understand controls, make for a great experience for pros or beginners. The roster of fighters is made up of characters from various iconic video game franchises. Just like these franchises, Super Smash Bros. Has become iconic within itself, sort of serving as a museum for video game history. But what if you want to live history but don't have time to play every game from every fighter's backlog? Well, I'm going to be going through the fighters list and seeing which game from each series is the most definitive. As always, this is an opinion. If you enjoy a game that I don't recommend, that is awesome for you. I'm just another dumb Nintendo fan on the internet. First on our list is Mario. This classic plumber was invented by Shigeru Miyamoto in 1981 for the original Donkey Kong arcade game. However, he was known as Jumpman since that's all he does in this game. Jump over barrels to save the girl at the top. While this is a classic experience, it is far from Mario's definitive title. This also goes for Mario's second outing, Mario Bros. The arcade game. This focuses on surviving waves of Koopas until you die. That's basically it. It's not until the NES in 1985 that Super Mario Bros. Is released, Mario's first platforming adventure. Super Mario Bros. Is as classic as video games can be. Jumping, dodging, power-ups. It's fine. It's not bad by any means, it's just been outdone by its successors. Not Super Mario Bros. 2 though, that one is very different. Not bad, just not classic Mario. The original Super Mario Bros. 2 was considered too hard for us dummies in the West, so they put Mario characters into another game called Doki Doki Panic and called it Super Mario Bros. 2. We now have various improvements, such as going backwards and a character selection. Each character plays a little differently, so your choice of character does actually matter. Mario plays as he normally does, Luigi has a slightly higher and longer jump, Toad is fast but can't jump very high, and Peach can slowly float down but also runs very slow. I personally like giving Luigi his chance to shine. Since this isn't originally a Mario game, we have odd different mechanics, like potions that turn into doors. You also don't kill enemies by stepping on them, but by throwing stuff at them, specifically turnips that can be found in the ground. This magic carpet's pretty cool. And we also have the introduction of Birdo, a mainstay in the Mario character roster for his sports games in the future. This was actually the first Mario game I played. I quite enjoy it, but it's not the definitive title we're looking for. Super Mario Bros. 3 though, now that's a game. All new power-ups, level design that is oh so perfect, and an art style that is okay. Seriously, the only thing I'm not a fan of is the graphics. And while I'm not one of those that needs hyper-realistic graphics to enjoy a game, I do like when colors pop. The screen needs to be fun to look at, and I've never felt that way about Super Mario Bros. 3. The colors look washed out and bland. But the positives, as I said, the level design is absolutely perfect. We retain the ability to go backwards from Super Mario Bros. 2. The Tanuki suit is the new power-up and allows you to fly, provided you have a run-up. Overall, this is a really solid game. But let's keep looking and see if we can't find something better. Super Mario World. Just the logo screams Mario more than any of the past entries. The blocky letters, the use of colors. It's beautiful. An explorative world with branching paths, tight controls, and the introduction of Yoshi. The cape is our new power-up. It allows you to attack enemies and allows you to glide a little bit. The A button also acts as a twirl jump. Level design is just as good as ever and just as difficult. Not nail-bitingly hard, but you won't have an easy time. It's the perfect challenge level. Most consider this the final of the classic series. In Super Mario World 2, you play as Yoshi, not Mario, but that's a story for another day. There are more 2D Mario games from this era, but they fall into different genres that aren't exactly definitive Mario. As we move from 2D to 3D, Mario's style completely changed, and with that Z-axis, we got a jank controller. Listen, Mario 64 is great in concept, but it has not aged well. The camera is stiff and doesn't allow you to always look where you want. If you're trying to jump like here, you kinda need to see where you're going. That said, the simplicity in the art style is very charming. While the graphics of this era were typically crude, Mario 64 is still appealing simply due to the vibrant colors. Peach's Castle looks like a legitimately fun place to run around and explore. This is also the biggest evolution in Mario's gameplay. New moves such as the dive, triple jump, long jump, and a few others that allow for very creative ways to get stars. Oh yeah, stars. So you start each level with a mission which consists of some platforming, maybe some puzzle solving, and then you beat a boss and get a star, unlocking more stars in that level. Gone is the traditional goalpost of the 2D Mario games. Stars are super fun to collect. However, after you get a star, the game kicks you out of the level, back to the hub world, Peach's Castle. This is incredibly annoying, especially in Tick-Tock Clock, where you gotta climb up a set of staircases multiple times. While this game has quite the legacy, if you didn't grow up with it, you probably aren't going to enjoy it. This can also be said for the second 3D Mario game, Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. I owned this game as a kid and I hated it. This was mostly due to the game being too difficult for me at the time and the flood mechanic confused me. I didn't understand gimmicks and I was expecting Mario 64 Part 2. And now we've got this weird jetpack guy that talks to us. Now though, regardless of my personal feelings on the game, it's just so odd in terms of Mario games that I can't exactly say it's the definitive Mario title. Your goal is to go around and clean up the island's mess done by Mario's evil doppelganger. I do have to hand it to this game's story though, it is the best we've seen thus far in at least the main Mario series. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 I'm going to group together because they're so similar. They're also unusual for a typical Mario game. Galaxy is all about gravity and exploring planets. These levels are also more linear than Sunshine in 64, which isn't a bad thing. Many love these games, and I honestly can't blame them. These two have always filled me with a sense of wonder, and they would probably be my pick, if not for another title that I view as a bit more definitive. Super Mario Odyssey. Wow, what a game. Many consider this to be the true successor to Mario 64. You got all the moves from 64 and Cappy allowing for all kinds of chaining possibilities. Yeah, that's the gimmick in this one, is you've got a hat that you can throw and you can actually become enemies. This game is just fun from top to bottom. While some of the kingdoms aren't super memorable, none of them are bad. The sandbox style is back, and when you get a moon, you aren't booted out of the game. Speaking of moons, there are a butt ton. Like 880 unique moons. You only need 120 to complete the main game, meaning you can basically only do the ones you want. Cappy also allows you to capture enemies for a completely new playstyle. I found no capture enemy to be boring to use. They're all fun and have a unique purpose. It's hard to choose between a 2D and 3D Mario game because Mario revolutionized 3D as well as 2D. For 3D, and my pick overall would be Odyssey, simply because Mario feels so good to control, jumps feel satisfying, Enemies are fun to control, and it's truly one of the best mixes of old school and new school Mario. While Odyssey is my personal favorite Mario, in Smash Bros, he doesn't actually take much of his moves from it. If you played Smash and are looking to see Mario's moves in action and only have time for one game, Super Mario World is for you. Now, you can't go wrong with any of the classic series. In fact, most of them are available with Switch Online, so you might as well try them. Super Mario World is just the epitome of the classic series. With its beautiful 16-bit graphics and colorful art style, large map, and f***ing Yoshi, you really can't go wrong here.